Hi everyone, today I'm going to be talking about the two classes I've been taking on Coloso, made by independent animators Mary Kim and Havzta, giving my honest opinions on the platform and whether they're worth taking a look at if you're interested in taking a course yourself. I've always struggled with matching the ideas I have in my head to my current skill level. There's usually a pretty big difference between the two, and while it's so tempting to stay in my comfort zone and keep making the same things over and over again, I do want to improve other areas and generally have a more well-rounded skill set that will allow me to make any project I want. When I'm trying to learn something new, I will look for artists and professionals who are already doing the thing I want to learn, study their work, and then set myself a project that focuses on the skill or topic I've been avoiding. And currently those are fight scenes and effects animation. This was my first attempt at dynamic animation during my second year at university. Looking at this now, I can see there are way too many frames and the timing and spacing is really uneven. I did reference a bow staff routine on YouTube, but back then animation still hadn't quite clicked for me. I knew what looked good, but I couldn't really consistently replicate that, and because I wasn't all that happy with the outcome of this project, I never touched it again, and decided to focus on other things. Part of what helped me develop my own style and improve my animation was guidance from my tutors, the projects we were set, and making work I enjoyed. I think about this project quite a lot. What if I hadn't been afraid of being bad at something till I was good at it? I think I'd be doing effects and fight scenes all the time, but I gave up, and now it's time to do it anyway. If you haven't heard of them, Coloso are a platform that hosts a wide range of courses by professionals across different industries and disciplines. A lot of the courses will say what the skill level is, if there is any software required, and what the course contains. There are no deadlines and the classes are pre-recorded so you can take everything at your own pace. If the instructor has provided files for you to download, you can go through these during or after lessons to help you understand the content better. Not all courses come with extra downloads, so it's important to check the content section of the course you're interested in. I've been watching these classes over the last couple of months between my current projects, and I chose two courses that I thought would help me the most. The first course I chose was from Mary Kim, also known as Icy Kim, who is a self-taught illustrator and 2D animator working in TVPaint. They had some really fantastic dynamic fight scenes and effects animation examples on their page, which was exactly what I wanted to try. Now, this is a beginner course, so there was a section on animation basics that covered the 12 principles, frame rate, timing charts, and in-betweening. Because the course was made with TVPaint, there was also an in-depth walkthrough on how they use the software, which was really helpful. After that, the lesson started with simple exercises that became more complex as I progressed. The first few had basic moves for a single character, and then additional characters. There were lessons on adding weapons, effects, camera moves, and animating the backgrounds. Most of the classes were similar to walkthroughs, with Mary Kim talking about their process and choices as they planned the choreography, poses, and camera angles. I found these really helpful, and though some of the lessons were on the longer side and felt they could have been cut down a little, I appreciated that there were no awkward cuts that made you feel like you'd missed a dozen steps. The lessons in both courses are split into sections, and this one ranged from 15 to 45 minutes each. In the class material section, you can find any extra downloads, and there were plenty of TVPaint animation files from the exercises covered in the lessons, so I could go through them myself. From studying their work and others, the fight scenes I like the best always seem to have a lot of different shots playing with perspective and different angles. It's very fast-paced, and from someone who seems to default to longer, slower shots, this was a big learning curve for me. I was stuck for ages trying to come up with a character design I liked, and the pressure that I put on myself caused a little bit of art block. To get out of this, especially if I have deadlines and need something low stress, I'll open up a drawing program and use a mirror feature or tool to get things moving again. Finally, I realised I was spending way too much time agonising over a design for a longer project that hadn't even been bordered yet. So I decided to go with the simplest design that I highly recommend you try if you're feeling overwhelmed. These round little guys were perfect for tests, and I knew if I ended up liking the animation, I could add a better design over the top later. Aside from some tighter editing and more condensed classes, what I would have loved to see in this course was a video focusing on taking a shot or sequence from start to finish and being able to download the final file to go through it myself. Out of the two, this is my favourite course, and I'll definitely be coming back to this one to rewatch the lessons when I need a refresher. The second course I chose was from Havzta, who is another independent 2D animator. They make incredible looking animations with a really beautiful style that they create in Clip and Procreate on the iPad, which blew my mind. I followed them for a while on social media, and it was really nice to get a look into their process and see how they worked within the limitations of these iPad apps. Rather than focusing on a specific topic like Mary Kim, the course by Havzta goes through their entire animation pipeline from start to finish. I was actually more interested in the later parts, covering how they animate complicated shots and then how to composite them, since I had assumed that they used another software to do it. And turns out I was wrong. It's all done in Clip and Procreate. Throughout the course, they cover a lot of different shots and projects that they've worked on to help illustrate the lessons, and they do go over some of the limitations such as layer limits when compositing and moving backgrounds by hand to create the moves they want. I could never do this myself, particularly moving backgrounds by hand, since most animation programs do allow you to do this automatically. Havzta does mention that they have experimented with different techniques and processes to help them save time, and it was really interesting to see how they approach animation. At the end of each lesson, there was a homework or task set, which is great for anyone who's going through this course step by step and wants to animate in this style. I often had the lessons on in the background as I worked on different projects, and as I use a lot of bright colours and textures in my own work, I had a lot of fun with this one, choosing gradients and extra blending modes to get the lighting I wanted. I would have loved to see some downloadable content with this course, as I like to be able to look at some of the shots and go through them myself. I think in the beginning, especially when they describe the animation basics, it would be helpful for those who are newer to animation to have these to go through later as well. Now, as for Coloso as a platform, there is a lot of variety in terms of course content and instructors. To stop plagiarism and actually be able to watch the courses, you have to download their player, which doesn't allow you to open any sort of recording software while you watch, because it will shut down the stream. This isn't really a problem for most people, it just meant that I had to have the course playing on a different device while I screen recorded the animation I was making on my PC for this video. There was a small amount of buffering if I needed to skip ahead or go back and re-listen to something, and if you leave the player paused for a while, you might need to refresh the page as the session will expire. You shouldn't have any problems if you're watching the class all in one go or coming back to a class, as it will let you pick up where you left off. Personally, I'd like to see more reviews for the courses with testimonials and work from students who have taken the classes. I've seen other courses and universities advertise showreels of student work to show off what you could learn there, and it makes the course feel more legit. If you're looking at getting a course and you're not sure whether it's right for you, here are a few things to ask yourself. Who is it for? Beginners? More advanced students? Is this your skill level or higher? Does the course cover what you want to learn? Is it an overview of a subject or focused on a single topic? Is the instructor someone you admire, or do they have a specific skill or process you want more information on? Can you complete any assignments or homework with the equipment you have, or is there any software or tools recommended for you to use? Are the lessons spoken or subtitled in your language? Can you find any reviews of other people who have taken the course themselves? And is there any discount available? Finally, I think the most important thing to remember is that if you buy any courses or watch a ton of tutorials, you're only going to get out as much as you put in. So have fun with it and practice what you've learned as much as possible. If you want to check out either of these courses or see what else is on offer, click the link in the description. Big thank you to Coloso for sponsoring this video, and I'll be back with another one real soon. Bye!